Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Charles Coachman, and this is Bay Area Let's Talk. Bay Area Let's Talk. I am coming in from San Jose, California. We are just trying to get through here, and let's see if we can check on something really quickly. Get myself taken care of here. Boom. Again, this is Bay Area Let's Talk, and this is Charles Coachman. I like to start each show by letting people know who is having birthdays today and just recognizing those birthdays. So let's see. Today, Jennifer Moran. Jennifer is a fireball. Well, I guess that's the only way to say it. She is just an awesome lady. She has run several companies, has been their leading salesperson, and did something that a lot of ladies or guys neither do very much, and that was entered, I guess, a beauty contest when she was in her late 40s after having 3 children. And she did quite the job. But her story is awesome. She has done a lot of things, and she is a phenomenal speaker. She's also an author, and she is a great lady. If you got a chance to check her out on Facebook, do that. Learn a little bit about her. She's a terrific lady. And then the second fella, Knox, Helderston. He is a guy that turned my life around, literally. He is just a terrific man, and he was my pastor out here at East Valley Church in San Jose. And Pastor John, as I always called him, and he'd say, "Shh, John, please." Just a wonderful man. And Pastor John, happy birthday to you. I hope that you are having an awesome, awesome day with your beautiful wife, Lucy. I hope that you two are just having a terrific time. Enjoy. Hey, if it's your birthday out there and I didn't find it, it could possibly be because we're not friends on Facebook, or you're just shy about celebrating your birthday. But here we're not shy to do it, and we will be glad to do it. But we got to be friends first so I can see it. Anyway, happy birthday to everyone out there. Have a great, great day, what's left of it. So we are just going to come back down here and get going on some stuff. I hope everyone's had a great day. I hope you have had a terrific day. One of the things that I like to do is share who we do business with and we get some training with and some help with. And one of those is the Grow Live Academy. Grow Live Academy, product of Ken Walls. He has put together a great program to help people learn how to do live streaming. And then the platform that we're using is StreamYard.com. StreamYard.com. And if you would like to bring your name out there, I should probably do this. Using StreamYard.com, give them your permission to use your likeness at www.streamyard.com/Facebook, and that will allow them to go ahead and use your photo, and then we can see who you are if you make a comment here on Facebook. And then that will allow them to on any live stream or any show that you are part of so that you can be seen and your messages can be looked at. Again, this is Charles Coachman, and you can send me a text at 408-439-0766 or email me at bayarealetstalk@gmail.com. Now, I started this program to go over local news and understand about what's happening a little bit better and to talk with people about this. I am using the Mercury News, the San Francisco Chronicle, the East Bay Times, which is exactly the same as San Jose Mercury News. Very little difference. I think they've switched areas because San Jose's in the South Bay and the East Bay Times is obviously in the East Bay. So their news articles are flipped around a little bit. But I'm finding these to be just so far, it doesn't matter. And we're gonna take a look at some of these stories here, but some of them are so far to one side that they're even hard to read for me. And I have to question how anyone can write stories the way they are and not turn off. Maybe the Bay Area is a 65-35 split or a 70-30 split, or maybe it's a 45-55 split. But when you write to only one side, you're leaving off a big percentage on the other. And there's just some articles, and we'll get to one of those later on, that I'm going, why would you write this story? And you say that you're not trying to put somebody down or to have his team taken away, but you're still putting it out there because he needs to be reminded. Okay, I understand that. Well, hey, let's take a look at the top stories. Again, keeping on top of everything and leading everything is the Trump impeachment trial. So far, the Democrats at this point, as far as I know, have not delivered their papers over to the Senate to put President Trump on trial. 10 Republicans voted with the Democrats. 10 out of 208 or 9. So they said it was a partisan vote, or it was not a partisan vote. It was a bilateral decision. Well, I would think that if you've got 190 or nearly 200 that voted no, then it's not really a bilateral decision or bipartisan decision. It was more Democrats, and it just had a few Republicans that said, hey, we're tired of this, and they got rid of them. So President Trump has been impeached for the second time. And now it's up to the Senate and what are they going to do? So there's going to be some questions on to a man's been impeached, but once the president has left office, which he will on January 20th, how then will he go to trial as president when he's no longer president? I don't know. I guess they can hold kind of a mock trial like the Democrats did yesterday by rushing through this impeachment in the House. So now they'll just have to see how that's going to be handled. Certainly there will be over 50% of the Senate that will vote to find the president guilty. I would say certainly that there are going to be some of the Republicans from the Senate that are going to say, let's knock Trump out of here. Let's never let him walk this territory again. Let's never let him threaten to hold public office or to run public office, run for public office. This is an article by Associated Press. Kevin Freaking, Andrew Taylor, Alan Fram, Zeke Miller, and Jonathan Lemire. And they are talking about what could happen with President Trump and who they are looking for to possibly vote against President Trump and vote him as guilty. So, that's one of the things that the Senate is going to have to do. Now, will they take a look at, in the new Senate and the new Congress, will we be taking a look at any of the issues that are going to come up with Joe Biden that have happened because of his son? I guess we're going to handle one thing at a time and finish up with President Trump. I think it is a very sad way to take on a very, very serious problem. I think to rush an impeachment through is probably one of the worst things that we can do, because I can tell you what, there are going to be some people that say, you know what, then let's start the impeachment on President Biden right now. Let's start it, and let's get it going. Let's dig up everything. And certainly in 2 years, should the Republicans come back and pick up even more congressional seats, they will certainly take over the Congress. And there are some new Republicans out there that are going to be looking for Senate seats. So let's see what happens. This is a terrible way to do things. That's all I'm saying. A terrible. President Trump is going to be out there a week from yesterday. A week from yesterday, he'll be gone. But we're still going to rush this through. But President-elect Biden was saying, hey, well, maybe the Senate should split their time, run part of it as the impeachment, and then start working on my stuff after that so I can get my people in place. Those people that have to be accepted by the Senate. I don't know how that's going to work. How long is that going to take? And what a terrible way to do things. It's a bad way. And I'm a simple person that just looks at things the easiest possible way and try and understand them. And I think they're making some foolish moves there. But that's neither here nor there, because they're in Washington. They're in the seat of power. They are our leaders. I think I would not call most of them leaders. I hope some things change. Boy, I hope some things change for the good of all of us. Well, hey, something happened in San Jose that's some good news for somebody. At Paul's Market at 412 East Empire Street, somebody won. This is in Japantown. Somebody won a $2.7 million lotto. $2.7 million. How glad would you be to wake up and find that? $2.7 million. There was another one, I believe, down in San Diego that did the same. But some lucky person here in San Jose is going to be over $2.5 million richer than he was when he went to bed. So, woohoo! Good money. Good times. I think it's a great story. Hey, this morning over in the East Bay, Concord, near the Concord BART station, had a 3.8 magnitude earthquake. So BART has been running slow today. And I have ridden BART for many, many years, since the 70s. And I used to go out of the Concord BART station. So, woo, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. Well, here's the story. I'm going to hold off on that for just a minute. I'm going to hold off on that. I'm a realtor here in the South Bay, down in San Jose. And I just wanted to give people some updates on limits on FHA and conforming loans. Because we are, and this switched at the beginning of the month, and I never said anything about it until today on my real estate show. But the limits have moved. In some areas, the conventional loan limits are $548,250. That's $548,250. Now, in areas like ours, where the medium priced home is at $1.25 million, now they're at $822,375. So some of the coastal areas, coastal states like California, especially the San Francisco Bay Area, and then Alaska and Hawaii have those high limits, so that people can afford to buy homes and get help through FHA. So that is good news. Good news for those that are out there looking for loans. And I think it's a good reminder. Hey, if you want to go FHA or you can go VA, take a look. Take an opportunity to do that. If you are looking for somebody to help you with that, you know what? You can go to your local bank to speak with their lenders there, or you can go to a mortgage broker. But if you need a realtor to work with, you can contact us by just texting 408-439-0766. Or you can reach us at Bay Area Let's Talk at Gmail, and I will certainly get back with you. And then we do have our morning show, which is Real Estate Show at 9 o'clock, where we talk about real estate and pretty much nothing but real estate for about a half an hour each day. And we will also have people on there to share about their real estate expertise, whether it's lenders, whether it's inspection men and women, or whether it's title companies, title and escrow. There's going to be a lot of people that can share their knowledge with you on what's happening in today's real estate world. So that is all with that. Now I want to get to the story that I was talking about when I opened up, because here we are. It's a baseball story. Well, it's not a baseball story. It's a woke story. And I want to make sure that I have this fellow's name right. It's Kerry Crowley. And he is talking about San Francisco Giants ownership, which is Charles B. Johnson, who is the largest owner of the San Francisco Giants. So he's the majority owner of the San Francisco Giants. And so they have decided to out him for the people that he put money behind. And he voted for, oh my gosh, he voted for right-wing candidates. A wealthy man doing that. A wealthy man that's not in the internet business. He put money behind people that he backed. And you know what? It's not okay when you live in the Bay Area. Now, he backed somebody that and gave some donations to a group called QAnon, and I'm not even sure what that is. I think it's a group that they say is apparently has some conspiracy theories about different things that are happening in our country. And I'm not a conspiracy guy. I want the facts. I want people to be honest with each other. But this guy went on to say that, hey, this is not a hit piece. Charles B. Johnson, the San Francisco Giants' largest shareholder, has the right to spend his personal fortune any way he sees fit. In a 5-month span leading up to November 3rd election, Johnson donated the maximum allowable amounts to the campaigns of 3 United States senators and at least 20 members of the House of Representatives who voted to overturn the results of the November election. Almost every Republican congressman voted to overturn or at least look at what happened during this election, because there were problems. But the Republicans really didn't have any say in that, because they're not in the majority. And this House that is in the majority was going to overturn everything. They wanted to bring it up. They wanted to address it. Now, anybody that's wanted to address anything is a terrible person. A conspiracy theorist. No matter if they're not, if they are, I don't know. Do the people sitting next to them? No, because I don't think a lot of these congressmen sitting on the left and the right want to have anything to do with each other. We used to hear about the talks of congressmen or congressmen from different sides that would go out, have dinner, have a meal, and enjoy each other. Now, there might be some of that, but I don't believe that's the way it is anymore. But what does that have to do with this baseball owner? Well, because, you know what, we live in a woke society, and this must be called out. Gosh, why can't, let's take the politics out of some of this stuff. I think we can do that, truly. We got people that don't want to listen to musicians because they're so far left wing. Then we got musicians that are right wing, and the other side doesn't want to listen to them. That's crazy. You know what? Watch what people are doing. If they're an actor, if they're a musician, whatever, watch them for their craft, not for their politics. And we have to knock politics out of sports. Because sure enough, now we're going to have people that are going to be boycotting the Giants because an owner supported some right-wing conservative politicians. How terrible is that? This man is not woken up. And he owns a Bay Area team, majority shareholder. I don't think we need to have that. I think we have to have honest opinions. I think we have to write honest stories. But when you write a story and you say, well, I'm not trying to out this person, but here's what I've got to tell you, well, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. At least not to this simple guy. Mark Rodriguez, how you doing, man? good to see you. I see that I got a card in the mail from you today. I haven't opened it yet, but I want to get out there and take a look at it. My wife shouted out to me. And great to see you, man. I hope everything's doing well. I hope you are good. And I'm hoping that we're going to see each other in a couple hours, less than 2 hours. But thank you for coming on. I appreciate it, Mark. I certainly do. So, there is some good news in baseball. So I wanted to just talk about that. It looks like the A's are going to sign an international prospect, which the A's do an amazing job with their minor leaguers and bring them in, make them stars, and can't pay them, so they go to feed the Yankees or the Red Sox or some other team with a bunch more money than the Oakland A's. But this man's name is Dominican prospect Pedro Pineda. Is expected to sign with the Oakland A's during the international signing period, and he is expected to be an A's top prospect. And that is great news because the A's every year lose their top prospects. This guy is a power speed threat from the Dominican. He's expected to sign with the A's as the top paid player in the 2020 international class in July per Ben Badler. This young man from the Dominican Republic is going to be making millions of dollars. And you know what? Congratulations, young man. You have hit the lottery. You have hit the lottery. Congratulations. And I hope that you were brought up and that you work with the A's. The A's have been my team since 1968 when they first came here from Kansas City. And I got to go to my first A's game. And they had some young superstars. Plus, they had an aging, now coach, Joe DiMaggio, Mr. Coffee himself. We used to get to see him on a regular basis out at the Coliseum in the A's younger years. Joe DiMaggio grew up in Martinez, which is in the East Bay. And it is Joe and Dom, and there may have been 3 DiMaggio brothers too, but Joe and Dom are the ones that Dom played with the Red Sox and Joe with the Yankees. So what kind of fun did they have as kids and as young men growing up and being competitors? Well, that's the good news. Now let's go on to this day in rock as we get ready to finish this up. Oh, let's see, what do we have here? Well, I know one of them right off the bat, and it's the first one that I'm going to look at. There was a man who had a song like in 1970. But we're going to look back on this date in 1936. Clarence Carter was born. Clarence Carter was a blind U.S. singer-guitarist. Yep, 1970. Number 4 in the U.S. and number 2 in the U.K., a song called Patches. And this song reminded me of my grandfather. Because one of the lines, I used to call my mom's dad Papa. And one of the lines from that song was, "My papa was a great old man. I could see him with a shovel in his hand." Well, Clarence Carter, you brought us a great song. You made great music over the years. Thank you. Thank you. Let's take a quick look back on this date in 1955. Alan Freed. Alan Freed. Anybody ever heard that name before? Alan Freed. DJ Alan Freed did his first ever concert Rock and Roll Party. Rock and Roll Party. He had the Clovers, Fats Dominoes, and the Drifters. Rock and roll begins. This is how it started. 1956, Annette Funicello is the most popular musketeer. Can you believe it? 1960, on this date, Elvis Presley was promoted to sergeant. Also 1960, Elvis Presley's GI Blues started a 7-week run as #1 on the UK charts. Can you believe that? 1964, the Beatles flew to Paris. John Lennon and Paul McCartney were working on the song Can't Buy Me Love. 1966, on this date, David Bowie released his first single called Can't Help Thinking About Me. Woohoo. 1967, on this date, the Jefferson Airplane performed at the Human Be-In. The Human Be-In. I can remember that as a little boy. Okay, this is going to make us old real quick. 1969, David Grohl was born. Who is David Grohl? Well, he was the drummer for Nirvana, and now he leads his own band, the Foo Fighters. He's still out there making music. He was born in 1969, so he's not an old man. But he's only a decade younger than me, so he's 52 years old. And my kids have been listening to him since the early 90s. And they love him, and I think he's one heck of a musician. In 1972, Stevie Wonder kicked off a concert tour of London. Got that going. Go through all these things. 1984, Paul McCartney was #1 on the UK charts with a song called Pipes of Peace. I must admit, I've never heard of Pipes of Peace. I may not be the right person to be talking about this. (1978). Skipping back a few years. Player, which my friend Mark Rodriguez would be called Player, started with the hit 32 weeks on the charts of Baby Come Back. Baby Come Back. On this day, Pearl Jam performs with Neil Young for a Voters for Choice benefit in Washington. Voters benefit. On this date, Garth Brooks was on Sesame Street. Some of this stuff is too amazing to even read, and I don't really consider this rock and roll, so I don't know why it's even there. But in 2005, the wife of late punk guitarist Johnny Ramone was unveiled. A statue was unveiled by his late widow at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Johnny died of prostate cancer. Sad. On this date in 2011, Roger Daltrey gave an interview saying that prior to the Super Bowl, which they were performing at, he was losing his voice. So it was the first time he'd ever had that type of problem. This is a rehearsal for the Super Bowl, obviously. But his voice was starting to give out, in which he had problems from that point on. So that is today's show. Thank you for being here. Thank you for checking in. If you'd like to share this out, that would be great. If you'd like to leave me a comment, please do so. If you want to get in touch with me, 408-439-0766. You can send me a text or email me at bayarealetstalk@gmail.com. Have a great afternoon. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Bye.